Just gonna give a review of the equipment that I've got in my sim racing setup. So I'm currently running a PlayStation Trophy with a MOZA R9 and FSR wheel. The MOZA R9 is a version 1, and then recently I've just changed the pedals from the ASETEK Club Sport V3s to the ASETEK Sim Sport Invicta S series pedals, so the two separate pedals, just the brake and the throttle. Yeah, so I'm just going to give you my take on them, and just maybe help some people out that might be thinking about purchasing these or, you know, upgrading. So I'll start off with the MOZA gear. I've had that the longest, probably since October, so we're talking 8 or 9 months now. Yeah, so I upgraded. This is the first direct drive wheelbase that I've used. I upgraded from a Thrustmaster T300 with the Ferrari F1 wheel add-on, and yeah, it's like everybody says, it's just totally day and night. The comparison, the MOZA R9 has got plenty of strength in it. I'll put the software up. So I'm running it at, I think it's about 80% at the moment, which I keep it on pretty much all the time. So yeah, 80% there. Let me just see, and that's pretty much decent for most things that I do. At the moment, I'm running iRacing mainly. I've done a lot of racing on Race Room. Generally try race open wheelers and the odd GT3 races, but generally open wheelers. And yeah, the setup I've got for this is perfect. The FSR wheel is really good. You can change all the settings on it. If you push these two buttons in together, that and that, you hold them in, and then it starts flashing on there. So that means then you can just change the colour of these to whatever you like, and then you press the same two buttons together again. I'm just trying to hold the camera at the same time, and that's fixed in. So you just set it up how you like. You can change the dash, you can change the screen. That's one of the clutch paddles at the back, and then you toggle through. You hold in the clutch paddle and you toggle through like this. Yeah, that's a new one actually. That might be new from one of the latest updates. I've not seen that before. But yeah, so you've got plenty of variety there. A lot of it looks like it's set up to be used with the F1 game, and because you've got like your DRS there, your ERS, fuel, and the percentage of the ERS which is left, and yeah, so I think it is set up for the F1 game, a lot of it. To be honest, I don't really use that screen that often because of the way it's set up with in my little room. It's, if I take my eyes off that screen, the distance from there to there is probably too much. By the time I've looked down at that, I've travelled quite far, and I could miss a breaking point or whatever. So I don't really use that very often at all. I might glance at it now and again, just to see what gear I'm in, but normally I've already got that on the screen anyway. But for, you know, actually just practically using it, it's brilliant. I love it. I think it's great. Feels great. All the buttons feel great. The grips are good. I do use gloves most of the time. And then going to the wheelbase, like I said, plenty of strength in it. Plenty of strength. And there's so much you can change. All this, there's loads and loads and loads of settings that you can change. Advanced, loads you can get. So you can change it to your liking. So yeah, pretty good. There is one sort of disappointing downfall with my particular wheelbases. So basically the wheel attaches to the wheelbase with a quick release, which is dead easy to just pull off like that. And then inside here, I believe there's a wireless connection to the wheel, and I've been having problems lately with the wheelbase keeping connection to the wheel. So when I'm shifting, I've noticed that it's missing shifts, so it might last for a second, or it might last for 5 seconds, not generally any longer than that. But if it does last for them 4 or 5 seconds and it's in a braking zone and you're having to shift down, or it's at the other end of the corner when you're accelerating out and shifting up, you miss the shifts because it's not responding, and it does cost time. So what I've done is I've contacted MOZA, which you can do through the MOZA software. So I'll just do that for you again. So you see just here on the left hand side, click on this tab here, and then it takes us to the MOZA Racing Support Centre, and then you can set up a ticket. So you go to new support ticket, and then when it wants to open, and then you'd fill in the form, tell them the problem, and yes, my ticket has been dealt with. It's they have responded. They did respond pretty quickly originally, which I'm pretty impressed with, and they are sending out a new part for the wireless receiver, which they've explained is really easy to swap yourself. So that's what's happening with that. So let's hope that gets sent out and it works. But so that's the only downfall that I've had with the MOZA equipment. Let's hope that gets sorted, and I'll probably put an updated video on once I've got the spare part and fitted it. I may even do a video to show how to do it, even though MOZA do send out some good instructions, which I've already seen. Then we'll move on to the pedals. So yeah, I've got the throttle and the brake, which, to start with, like I say, I've upgraded from the ASETEK Club Sport V3, and now it's it was a bit of an adjustment, to be honest. The brake pedal is a lot harder because it is actually a hydraulic brake pedal, although you put elastomers in for the initial part of the brake. So these brakes, this brake is a 2-stage brake, so it's got the initial small movement, which I'll try and demonstrate. It's the initial small movement, and then it's totally solid, as you can see. So totally solid. So you've got the initial first movement, which is supposed to be the same as a real racing brake. and that's the elastomer you can change in them. I've got a soft one in at the moment for that initial stage, but then you can see here it's set to 28 bar, and yes, it takes some pushing to get to that. That's not even high either, it goes a long way higher than that. I'm not even too sure how much, but let's just recalibrate it and we'll see how much I can actually press. So that's absolutely me pushing with a lot of force there, and it's got to 45. Yeah, iRacing, I wear socks and it's fine, you know, I don't have a problem. I have seen other reviews saying that the circle, the raised circles on the front of the pedal faces sort of could hurt people's feet. That I don't have an issue with it, it's totally fine. If it was set to 45 bar, then maybe I would, because I can totally feel that. So I'll just recalibrate that back to I should have just cancelled it. Right, I'll recalibrate it back to 28 bar. There we go. And then yeah, it's just put my dead zones back in. So yeah, that's what I have it set to, and it just feels comfortable. Yeah, it just feels good. Right. I do have to give it, you know, quite a heavy push to get to 100%, but it feels comfortable. The throttle, no special, just standard standard throttle. They have got springs that you can change. I've got the default spring in. I don't know if the other spring is harder or softer actually, but I've not tried it. The default spring feels fine, but yeah, the brake pedal, it's weird if you've not used a load cell or a hard brake like the hydraulic brakes. It would be a bit of a shock because it doesn't move, but once you get used to it, you feel like you're putting the pressure on like the hydraulic. You feel like the hydraulics are working. And ASETEK have tried to achieve a realistic feel with the brake compared to a real race car feel. That's what they're trying to achieve with it, and yeah, I like it. I don't know how much better I am at racing than I was with the V3s, because I've only had them on for probably about 3-4 weeks now, but honestly I feel great with them. I really enjoy them. I think they're great, and I like the adjustability. So if I was to play on it something else like the F1 game, and I need to be braking at 100% a lot more, this is what I use for my iRacing setup and race room. I may bring the top end down a bit, but I'd bring it down to about, I've been 28%, so I can get to that 100% a lot easier, which you need to do in the F1 game. But yeah, it feels perfect for me in iRacing. Like I say, I race mainly open wheels at the moment. I'm doing the F4 cars, the iRacing version of the F4 cars. I'm quite new to iRacing. I've been doing it only a couple of months. I'm in the D category at the moment, D license, but I'm working my way up. Should be at C by the end of the season, which is 2 weeks time. So I'm on the verge of that and just working up. And then yeah, my I rating is starting to creep up as well. Gonna hopefully be heading towards 2K in you know, in a few weeks time. Hopefully, getting some good results. So yeah, yeah, they're expensive, but I enjoy them. Another little cool thing you can do, you can change the LED colours. You can turn them off completely if you want. You can turn the brightness down. But yeah, just using this, you can change the LED colours to whatever you want. So just change it to that. Whatever you want, you can have. So yeah, it's just a little cool feature really in it. But yeah, so that's the MOZA and the ASETEK. There's what I think of them so far. Yeah, and then the play seat trophy is decent. It's comfy. You can probably see it at the moment. I've got it perched up on some blocks there, just perched up. It just raises the seat up a little bit, so I like it sort of raised up at the feet end, just to give it a bit more of a feel like an open wheel car. It's not perfectly set up like one, but it just feels so much better that way for me. And then yeah, and it raises this end up here a little bit and a bit closer to my screen. Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, if you want to ask out, put it in the comments, and I'll reply best I can. Like I say, I'm not an expert on any of the equipment. Direct drive wheels and bases. This is my first load cell pedals, and this is the first hydraulic pedal set I've had. But I've had, in pedals wise, I've gone from the standard Thrustmaster default pedals that you get with the T300. Then I upgraded to the TLCM load cell Thrustmaster pedals. Then from that I upgraded to the ASETEK V3 Club Sport, which was a massive difference. That was a big improvement for me, moving up from them Thrustmaster load cell TLCM to the ASETEK Club Sport V3s. It made a massive difference to my times. Then since I've upgraded to these, I've probably made a slight improvement from the V3s to these ASETEK pedals, but the difference is not as much as what it was from the Thrustmaster to the ASETEK. One of the big differences that is, yeah, moving from the belt driven Thrustmaster to the direct drive base, yeah, consistency massively so much better. My lap times are really consistent. I feel all the road, everything's so clear on this MOZA R9. It's just so much better. Just totally improved my sim racing. And yeah, I really enjoy these. Like I say, any questions, put them in the comments. And yeah, thanks for viewing.